Hey YouTube, it's Maddie, the Empty Nest Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by. If it's your first time, I hope you enjoy the content. And if you're returning, I'm really glad you came back. Today I'm going to do a swatching video. If you saw recently, I picked up this Art Whale student grade watercolor. And I'm going to put the box aside. Here's the pan. It's 24 colors. And I'm going to swatch them out. The set came with a swatch card, which I am going to use. And I also, the pans came wrapped. And when I unwrapped them, I stuck those wrappers onto watercolor paper, and these are the cards I'm going to put in my swatch book. They will fit nicely in there. This one will go back in the pan as after it dries, obviously. And so I thought I might take you guys along. So just going to situate myself so I can work on both. Facing me, you'll be able to see the colors. Let me move these aside and I'll bring them over as I need them. You'll be able to see the colors as they go down, even though, let me see if I can bring you a little closer, even though it's facing me. So I do need to be able to, these old eyes need to be able to see what it says. And I'm going to do both of the cards at the same time. I've never done this before. This particular one, because this is the first time I had watercolors. Well, this is the first time I unwrapped watercolors. I do have other watercolors that came wrapped. Haven't touched them yet. I am going to use the water brush that came with it. I loaded it up with water, and I do have some water on the side in a little bucket, so I can clean my brush more easily. I'm just wetting this water brush because it was stiff. I believe they treat it in some way, and now I believe it's probably ready to go. So what I'm going to try is pre-wetting the paper. I'll just do it on the swatch paper that they gave me first. Haven't done that before, but going to try it today. I've seen people who know how to use watercolor do that in the past, and let's see how it works for me. So I'm going to put this full strength on this side and see, let me add a little bit more water, see if it travels down. I don't see it moving at all, really, but I'm not really sure if I put the right amount of water down, if I haven't tried it, as I said. So I'm going to add water onto my swatch card as well. And is this the correct one? Permanent, yeah. I believe that should be the permanent yellow. I don't know why it looks green, but I'm just gonna leave it and get a magnifying glass. If I have to move that sticker, I will. So I'm just gonna lay down some more water than I did the first time and see if that makes any difference at all. So here we go on this sheet that I used with the stickers. Is that gonna travel? Not really traveling. Maybe I didn't re-wet this enough either. Let's see if I can encourage it to travel. Not really. All right, well, there it is. So if, oh, look what I did. Look what I did. Let's see if I can get that off there. Before I even started, what a mess. I also see a cat here, which I'll see if I can remove. But this lifted a little bit, and that's just gonna be how it goes. Just gonna be how it goes. So I stuck my hand in the pan and added some red to my swatch sheet. If you've done swatching of watercolor before, let me know if that happened to you. This is my first time that it did happen to me. Let's see if I could get that little dog hair off. I said cat hair, but my cat passed away, so it's definitely Jake, my dog. And look at that, I got it. Okay, so that was permanent lemon yellow. Let me clean that off and wipe it down. Let me see if I can add some water. I don't know if the others will travel differently. We will find out. So the next one is transparent medium yellow. Seems to have dried up a bit. Gonna add a little water from the brush and see what happens there. Oh, that one is traveling. Yes, it is. So maybe I just added enough water this time, or maybe this particular color reacts differently than the other. So gonna let that travel a bit and see what happens. Add some water to this swatch, hopefully. Well, it's more like the color than water, but I'm gonna add some full strength and see if that matters at all. Here we go. Yeah, you can see full strength does look a little bit different. Pretty sure I'm not doing this properly, so you know, the fact that it does or does not travel on one of these swatch sheets, not sure if that means anything at all. Let me wet this one while the paintbrush is clean. I should have done that in the first place with the other. Take a nice bit of water. This one is cadmium yellow orange. Cadmium yellow orange. And here we go. Take a nice bit of pigment and see what happens there. Yeah, so more water, and we do travel some. Yeah, looks like we can travel a bit if we have more water, at least with some of the pigments. So that looks pretty cool. See about this one. Also can travel some. Just gonna bring some of that down. Bring it down. Put a little more full strength there. See what happens. And leave it go. Okay, next up we have permanent orange red. So let's get this nice and wet. And this one as well. Permanent orange red. Nice amount of pigment. And it's not really moving that much. I will just go ahead and move it. Okay. Do the other one. Let's move in a little bit. If any of you know if there's a trick to this, or if it's certain quality of a certain pigment, or if it is something that I'm doing that is not allowing it to travel, please let me know in the comments. Will say, I think they are pretty colors, and I'm excited to play with them. Next up is Scarlet. Scarlet's going to be right here and right here. Do have a yellow tint to my water already. We're just gonna live with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just don't wanna make a mistake. Okay, here comes Scarlet. Ooh, Scarlet can move. Yeah, I'm not sure it's exactly me. It may be just particular pigments or, you know, configurations of colors move at a more readily than others. Just trying to get rid of that little air bubble. I don't know what's up with that, but that one did move somewhat. And yeah, let's get some Scarlet. Trying to get a mass tone at the beginning and have it lighten up. Not sure that's happening, but we'll take a look at it when it dries on my own. I'm not going to bore you through that. Just trying to move through the colors. They are pretty colors. They do have a bit of pigment as well. So next up, Scarlet definitely stained my water and my brush. So this one is Chinese red. Let's get some more water for my Chinese red. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, here we go. Chinese red. Let's pick that up. Pick up a nice amount. Chinese red is not quite as deep as Scarlet as would be expected. So let's get a nice big sample swatch. That's what I like when I'm choosing my colors. I'm gonna try just putting water on part of it and see if that changes how it travels. Maybe the mass tone is supposed to be on dry and then the travel happens when it touches the wet. Let's see if that works. So this one is Violet. And now Violet is touching the water. Don't see any travel at all. So let's just add some water there. There we go. But it is helping to get the effect of mass tone versus diluted, which I did not get on the earlier swatches because I had put water across the whole thing. So I think that was a mistake, and we live and learn. You can learn from my mistakes. If you like to swatch and already know and was yelling at the screen to let me know what I was doing wrong, appreciate your input, but I can't hear ya. So yeah, this one I can see now the difference between the diluted and the mass tone, and of course that makes perfect sense, but you know, I am me and I am just a beginner, to say the least. So here I'm just gonna wet down a portion. Same thing with the other. This one is going to be permanent violet. A little more water and see if that works better. Permanent violet. Here we go. We'll say they're pretty colors, pretty. This one is super pigmented and deep, and we do seem to have some travel here. Yeah, little bit. See about here. Yeah, just a little bit. But when you're playing on an actual project, you can see you will get those properties coming out, and hopefully it'll be fun to create projects with. So there we are with the permanent violet. Got a lot of water there. Let's not leave that so full, as it would drip all over the page. So I even see with the swatch before, it looks like it's on the verge of just dripping all over the page. So let me clear that up and smooth it out some. I did want to have an example of diluted paint anyway, so now I have a better idea of that once I picked up some of that color. Okay, next row, we're getting there. Okay, this one is peacock blue in this purple tinted water, but that's how I'm leaving it. It'll be just fine. So what I do need to do is lay this to the side and bring over my second sheet. So this one is my peacock blue. Let's pick that up. Peacock blue is going to have some water here, and yeah, okay, let's see. If it's too much, I'll pick it up again. And oh yeah, so let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 4 5 6 7 8, and peacock blue is right here. Okay, so let's have a mass tone. Oh, isn't that pretty? Yeah. So any of you who know your pigments or are familiar with watercoloring, you may know what peacock blue is more commonly called, if it is a common color, that PB17, because I don't recall hearing peacock blue before, but you know, of course, I I don't profess to know much. It is traveling some. So if you happen to know what the common name for peacock blue might be, you know, put it in the chat. I would like to know. I may look up the pigment, and that's an easy way to find out as well. So yeah, but it sure is pretty. Sure is pretty. Of course, I am super partial to blue, so yeah, I'm going to lean into all the different blues coming my way. Here comes cobalt blue. And there's the end of my wondering of, is it cobalt? No, it's not. Or cerulean, I don't know. We will look up that pigment. For all I know, it is peacock blue all over the place. So this is 10, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 10. Okay, pick up a nice amount of pigment. Put that down. It's a beautiful blue as well, although I don't think you could serve me up a blue I didn't like. So we're just gonna lay that down and let it do whatever it does and enjoy the color. So I'm just laying it down, and if it doesn't move on its own, let's see if I add a little more water, if that will. Not really. Just seem to be pushing that around, and that's okay. Different colors are going to behave differently, and swatching helps us learn a little bit about that, or so I'm told, and I'll do the best I can. This is French Aquamarine, and I'm not actually sure if French Aquamarine is different from Aquamarine. It may be, it may not be, not really sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, here we go with the French Aquamarine. Let's put it down. If you're finding this too boring to stick with, you know, feel free to skip to the end and see the colors after they've been laid down. I'm going to need this to refer to when I'm using the paints, and I just thought I would, is that the same color? Let me see if I put down the same color twice. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think it, yeah, I guess these two are just very similar to my eye. Now I added a little more mass tone, but to my eye, they are very similar. Laying it down. You may have a more sophisticated eye than I do, but these are kind of samey to me. If at some point I decide that I would like a different color in my palette, I may choose to keep only one of these. Let me know if it looks different to you, or is it just me? Yeah, they look kind of samey to me. Let's see how they dry. Sometimes paints dry back and look a little bit differently, but right now these look quite similar. On this swatch chart, I see a little bit of difference. Okay, here comes Prussian blue. I don't know, cobalt and ultramarine are different colors. They are different colors. Oh, I forgot to put down water. That's okay. This one is just going to have the mass tone without any water nearby. And then I'll add the water. Maybe that will be a better system. We're going to find out in a minute. This is just stunning. I am loving that one. Okay, let's see what happens. Gonna come on down. Not really too much. Pick up some of this water and lay it down here. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. That's really what's going on. I don't know how to do this. And maybe once I've practiced with my colors and learn what I'm doing, I will be able to swatch properly. But at this point in time, I feel like I'm just making a mess. So I am getting a chance to at least see how pretty the colors are, and I'm kind of excited to use it. Okay, next up we have Turquoise Light. Turquoise Light is coming up. So, yeah. Looks a little muddy, possibly or likely that's because the water I'm using is dirty. So, oops. I'm going to take some water from the water brush and see if that makes any difference. But this is what, not really too much. So, Turquoise Light. And another time I'm going to swatch it with clear water and see if that makes much of a difference. But for now, finding this turquoise to be a little lackluster. Not my particular cup of tea. You may feel differently, and that's what makes horse racing. We'll see how it dries back. We'll see. And I'm just going to bring that out. Actually, that gives me a much better idea of how it dilutes. I think I'm going to stick with that method. All right, next one up, Permanent Green. Permanent Green, I'm going to put a dot of the not dirty water from this water brush and put down some Permanent Green here. And here. Put down some of the water from the brush. Actually, a bunch of water came out there. I'm going to try to bring it over here. Kind of worked. I know it's a little weird, but I think it kind of worked for, you know, what I'm trying to do. I don't know. Gonna put a little more pigment down on this one just to make sure that mass tone is the proper color. A little bit of water down here, and then we move on. Okay, we have Tree Green. Next, Tree Green. That doesn't look any tree green. Doesn't look tree green at all to my eye when it's dry. Gonna just put it on there. Yeah, it's green. What do you know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is 15. 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. I forgot which one I dipped my brush in 1 second later. So like me. Yeah. Very, very like me. But I've made mistakes on swatch cards before, and it's not that fun. So you may catch me counting from time to time, just to at least, even if these swatches are all wonky, at least I hope to get the right color in the proper spots. So that's my hope. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Okay, try the other one. Bringing out some water and letting it do its little thing. Like that. Like the way that happened. That was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. Now I feel like I'm just pushing it around. So I'm going to just get a little bit more pigment. And then I'm going to move on. After tree green, which I'm told, let me know if this looks right to you. I'm told that tree green is the same as sap green. I guess it's something I can look up, you know, according to the pigment. But they do give 2 pigments for that one. And that may be the same as sap green. So I guess sap green is a tree color. What do I know? Sap comes from trees? Makes sense. Makes sense to me. All right. I don't know. I'm messing with this. I don't know. Never mind. Let's see. Next one up. Hooker's green. Okay. I've heard of that one before. Looks pretty samey to sap green. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, that's the right one. Looks a little samey to me, but we will see how they dry back. And if there is any subtle difference between sap and hookers. Tell me if my eyes are failing me. It certainly is possible. These old eyes don't see that well. Also on these stickers, see, they seem to be, you know, giving me the idea that Hooker's green is significantly darker than tree green, and yet I don't see much of a significant difference to my eye. So, not sure if it's the eyes or they are actually quite similar. But that's okay. These paints do have a 48 set, so if I can get some pans that I would like to complement and bring in colors that look, you know, different to me, I will do that. I will do that. Okay, getting down to the wire. So next up, Emerald Green Deep. Emerald Green Deep. So let's dry this off, not use the dirty water. Squeeze out the clean water from inside. Emerald Green Deep. That does look very emerald green deepy to me. Nice. That's a nice addition to the green family here. Or to my eye it is. Okay, next up, Yellow Ochre. There's a popular color for palettes. Yellow Ochre. Here we go. Looks like my brush is still carrying a bunch of green in it. My brush rather. When I squeeze it out, I can see it green. Fortunately, the yellow ochre is compatible with a green, but it really is probably not the best representation of. Yeah, look how green that is. I don't know why the water inside my brush, maybe it picked up the water. Yeah, looks very green. I'm gonna add some fresh water in here. Maybe that'll help. Or just see if I can wipe this off. Looks super green. Yeah. Green is coming off this brush. Who knows how many colors I've contaminated, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna roll with it and see. See if I can. I'm gonna blot some of this off. I think it's too green. Yeah, and see if I can get a little more yellow ochre and less green color. Now when I'm squeezing it out, even though the bristles have, you know, green on them, I can see that the yellow ochre is not contaminated. So we may have some green mixed in there, and that's the way it is. That is the way it is. But yeah, I guess the thing to do is to have 2 containers for water, but that's not what I did, and so we're gonna roll with what we got. Let's take out as much of the, there, now it's coming out clear. That should work better, I hope. Next one is umber. Yeah, that looks fine. So I've heard people talk about granulating colors. Not sure what I'm seeing there. I don't know if umber is supposed to granulate, or is my paint dirty or my paper dirty. I don't see any sort of granulation type. Oh yeah, there's a little. There is a little, I think. But the other swatch looks relatively grainy to me. This one looks like it has a piece of dirt on it, so it could just be dirt. Not really sure. To be looked into at some other time. Okay. Okay, coming out clear, good. Pizzula Red Ochre, I think. That's what I think it's calling itself. Never heard of that before. I will look up that pigment and see if it's a color well known as something else in more popular terms. I don't know, companies seem to do that from time to time. They will just throw in their own term. Even legacy companies, from time to time, they want you to know that their color is slightly different. Sometimes it's very desirable, and sometimes I just want to say, why don't you just call it what it is? Why is tree green not called sap green if it's actually sap green? I don't know. But maybe it's not sap green. That's what I heard another reviewer say, and I believe her. She, you know, watercolor is her jam. Next up we have burnt sienna. Okay, so burnt sienna is a color that is, you know, used in a variety of palettes. It's always called burnt sienna, or, you know, I've heard it called burnt sienna previously. Whether or not it's always called burnt sienna, I don't know that, but certainly I've heard of burnt sienna before. And, you know, who knows, maybe those other colors that were foreign to me are well known to people who paint, because I'm not really in that community just yet. I just watch videos and mess around. And I hope you're enjoying messing around with me. But for me, you know, this job is a little bit tedious. So I appreciate you, let's use a little bit more, helping me through this process. Even if you are just skipping to the end to look at the colors, that's fine. You know, we all watch at whatever level makes us happy. That's the beauty of YouTube. You can speed it up and you can swatch along with me. Whatever floats your boat. It's all good. It is all good. So I'm just going to put a little bit more pigment down, and then we will move on and call it a day with the burnt sienna. Yeah. Put a little bit more water down and let it happen. Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have burnt brown. So that one is new to me, going along with the new to me theme. Burnt brown. If I didn't have burnt sienna, oh, it's quite a bit darker than burnt sienna though. Quite a bit darker. So that's what we have for a darker neutral. And probably is going to be quite useful if there is a landscape that I'm adding color to, or tree, that I want to have some color variation in. But I think this burnt brown is likely called something else on another palette. I just, that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. So getting towards the end, believe it or not, if you hung in with me all this time, I appreciate that. I hope you were crafting along or swatching yourself and enjoying spending this time with me. I'm enjoying having the company because this is just a little bit boring to do if I'm not talking to you, believe it or not. So I appreciate your company, even though you can't answer me. Talking to you as if you're there. And if you're not there, I don't know it. So that's fine. Right now, there could be people who are wondering, what do these art watercolors look like? This looks great with a little bit less pigment down. So the mass tone is nice and rich and pigmented, and the diluted color is a lovely gray blue, and just liking that. So I think this is Payne's gray. That's what I think, Payne's gray. And I do enjoy that gray, always have. Last but not least, I'm assuming is black. Gonna clean that brush up a little bit, but you know, I'm not too worried. It's black. Yeah, ivory black. So I don't know what makes it ivory black, because ivory to me is white, but you know, there might be a reason it's ivory black, but that's what it says. I got so sloppy right now because this is my last swatch and I'm ready to be done swatching. I don't know what people do with larger sets, and I'm not sure I would enjoy swatching a larger set. I might have to let this be the maximum swatching that I would do on video, because I cannot imagine how long that video would be if it were a 48 set, 36 set. 24 is taking quite some time, and I appreciate your spending that time with me. So there we have all the colors. I'll let you take a look. See, they are partially dry. I want to say thank you for joining me in this swatch with me art whale, and leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, let me know if you enjoyed the content and if you would like to see more videos like this. So until next time, bye bye YouTube.